2022 Challenger, Ferrari grabbed everyone's attention with their unique design, approach and interpretation of the 2022 regulations. The swiftly engraved side pods were the most outstanding feature of the F175. No other team has Ferrari's side pods, even their so-called sister team Alfa Romeo. The design itself was backed up with superb reliability and hidden performance at the 2022 pre-season testing in Barcelona. Even though the purpose of this pre-season testing session isn't about performance and focuses more about shaking down and stress testing the cars. Some teams including Mercedes were able to spot which team has an advantage over the other. According to Mercedes' new driver, George Russell, Mercedes believe that both Ferrari and McLaren are ahead at the moment of the Brackley-based team. Based on the data that each team has access to, Mercedes believe the red car is performing very well in all types of corners at low and high fuel runs, plus they have great tyre management. Here is how George described the reds.
We're seeing some interesting things out there, so that's what testing's for. Some teams are looking pretty fast. A red team and an orange team in particular look very, very competitive. So let's see what tomorrow brings and what we can do between this test and Bahrain. Certainly not ahead, that's pretty sure of that. They seem to have things well under control and they're on top of everything and they look very strong, low fuel, high fuel, and with the tyre management. So who knows? We all know that we're on different programs, but we definitely know from the average of all of the different runs we're behind them at the moment. So let's wait and see. Championship's not won in Barcelona winter testing, but it's certainly been an intriguing 2 days for now.
Mercedes weren't the only team that dubbed Ferrari as the favourite in 2022. Red Bull boss, Christian Horner described Ferrari as the dark horse of this season and a sleeping giant waking up. In an interview before the first day of the 2022 pre-season testing, Horner said the following about the Reds.
Will Ferrari be good next year?
Yeah, I think they're the dark horse. They were not in the championship fight last year. No. Big regulation change this year. They probably started earlier than any team. And they've been a sleeping giant for a few years now, and you just get the impression they might just be waking up. So I never write off Ferrari.
It seems like Ferrari might have got it right this season. Worth noting that the Maranello-based team switched off their 2021 development earlier last season so they can focus more on the new regulations, while Red Bull and Mercedes were battling it out on track. According to seven-time F1 champion, Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari might be a few months ahead of the others in terms of development. Such words from Lewis must be a great sign towards what Mercedes know about the F175. Ferrari's hard work and patience might have finally paid off, and it's up to the management and the drivers to make it work on track. Although such praise from the competition is encouraging for Ferrari, team principal Mattia Binotto is refusing to get carried away. "I think it's very early days," he said when speaking in the lunchtime press conference in Barcelona. "It's always great to have good consistency when running because it's time to learn these new cars. Regarding the pace, it's very early to judge. What I can see is that we are all very close, which was one of the objectives of the new regulations. Moreover, they still have a few issues that they need to iron out. One in particular is the porpoising issue, where the car rocks back and forth at high speed due to the sudden change of downforce when the rear of the car hits the track or bumps. Ferrari are not the only team that is suffering from this problem, but they have to streamline this issue as soon as possible so they can hit the track running in Bahrain in a few weeks' time. On the other hand, McLaren is probably the only team that is not suffering from porpoising, which slightly gives them the upper hand at the moment in my opinion. According to team bosses, the 2022 season is all about development. The team that is fastest in Bahrain is not necessarily the team that will win the championship. Development is key and a continuous journey throughout the season, according to Toto Wolff and George Russell. Even though Mercedes might not be the fastest out of the blocks, we should never count him out. According to their number one driver Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes don't make mistakes. In his first press conference of the season, Lewis made a bold statement when asked if he fears that Mercedes might have done a mistake in their design. Lewis quickly shut down the journalist by saying,
"Why would I ever feel that way?
Because they can make a mistake building that car.
My team don't make mistakes." So, of course, there is always a risk, but We don't make mistakes. We've got a very intelligent people back at our factory. I trust in them 100%. And whatever we start with today, whether good or bad, we'll work through it. And we've always had a great development plan and workforce. So, yeah.
What is your